Water skiing is also a family sport. It's a great family sport. It takes 3 people, driver, observer, and you have to have a skier or 2. Well, how does that all fit in here? Well, there's a Hall of Famer whose mom is the mom of the guy sitting to my right who's a world water ski champion. His name is Scot Ellis. And Jennifer Ellis just inducted the USA Waterski and Wake Sports Foundation Hall of Fame back in May. We were honored to have her, and she was honored to have the award, not the award of distinction, the actual Hall of Fame award.
Yep.
There we go. I like the word award.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not one of my better days, everybody, but that's okay. We all have them. Anyway, her son, Scot Ellis, with us today. Call him Rocket Man, and for darn good reason. What a jumper. One of the best jumpers, water ski jumpers of all time. Not just this month, not last year.
Hall of Famer in his own right.
One of the best of all time. Scott, great to have you with us. You know, we were talking maybe a few days ago with Scott about so many athletes. They reach the pinnacle of the sport, of their respective sport, and that's the end of it. They don't give back. Scott gives back, and we're fortunate to have that in the sport of water skiing. It's a family sport, as mentioned. Kind of continues that legacy of your dad, Roger, funny guy, and your mom. And you know, you're doing that with the Florida State Waterski Championships that will be held in at Lake Myrtle, Champions Lake, and you know it's coming up July 12th through 14th.
Right.
To get that right.
Yep.
That's got to be exciting for you, but it's another effort on your part to give back to the sport. I mean, what does that mean to you?
That means a lot to me. I feel like I'm busier now than when I was training and competing. I'm doing so much, but I love it. My 3 kids are involved in skiing. My youngest daughter, at 7 now, 6 last year was her first Florida State tournament.
Wow.
So she was excited. And my youngest son, he's 5. It'll be his first.
Very cool.
And he's along with about 20 other little kids. I mean, and it's exciting to see their smiles, their enthusiasm, all the new parents coming in. So it's fun to be a part of, and it's fun to push.
Yeah. Well, the sport of water skiing has 9 disciplines underneath the Olympic Committee's governing body, official governing body, USA Waterski and Wake Sports. One of those disciplines is 3-event skiing. But Scott, even though world champion, one of the best ever, in distance jumping, was also a show skier, which I'm always happy to brag about a little bit. You know, Scott, you've come a long way, and your wife is a champion skier too.
Yeah, she's from France. She was on the French team, and I was on the U.S. team, and that's kind of how we met. Mm-hmm. And she was a graduate from Florida Southern College, so she was on the ski team there. And it was just kind of a self-made water ski family right from the start.
Well, it's amazing that you're able to do that. The state championships, tell us a little bit about that, because that is has a long history. One of the longest running water ski tournaments in the world in terms of its longevity. So what can people expect?
Well, this year is going to be the first year we're going to have, it's called a grassroots program, to where it's not a tournament skier yet. You can get on the water, you can ski, you know, up and down the lake. That's good enough. It's called grassroots, and we're going to have that in with the rest of the state competitors. And some of the state competitors are the best skiers in the world. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have the best down to the very, very beginning, just like my son that's 5. Can't do anything but cross the wake and wave. You know? So he's got a place at the tournament. Yeah. So that's going to be the first time we've ever done that at our Florida States. And we're going to do it for 3 days instead of 2. So instead of having 2 really long days where everybody's tired, we're going to do 3 short days. That way everybody can kind of chill out. All of our athletes and officials are staying at Camp Margaritaville, so they can go over there and enjoy that day and not just get strung out in the heat, but have 3 fun days.
Disciplines for the championship. All of them? What are we looking at?
Yeah, we do slalom, trick, and jump. Slalom is you go around all the buoys. Tricks is kind of like gymnastics on the water. and jump speaks for itself. It's whoever goes the furthest wins.
Okay.
So we're going to have all 3 of those events. And the grassroots, you can do any of those events or just go up and down the lake, whatever you want to do.
So you alluded earlier to the fact that some of the best water skiers in the world. So that is true with Florida, right? So this has to be one of the most competitive of the championships.
Out of all the states, Florida is like the state. Everybody from around the world, coaches, athletes, all come to Central Florida, and most of them in Polk County, and we train. For one, there's tons of lakes everywhere, and it stays warm year-round enough to where you can compete, or not just compete, but to train properly without injury, and everybody gets better. So everybody flocks here. There should be a lot of great competitors at the Florida States at Lake Myrtle Complex. So
did Freddie ever give a yes or a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
He's always on the fence. He's coming because he's one of the officials.
Yeah.
So he's actually giving back to his sports. His oldest son and my oldest son, they're both 15, and they're going neck and neck in the jumping event. So we're both going to be on shore watching. Hopefully Freddie will ski, but he will be out there.
Well, you talk about giving back to the sport, but both Scott and I skied on the Pro Tour many, many years ago. But Scott is one of the few that actually has given back to the sport.
Yeah.
And you think about it, and I brought it up because if you think about our peers back then, there was a lot of them that just sailed into the distance or doing other things, and you've continued that legacy in more ways than one, in a positive way. And I just think, Scott, that's what makes the sport of water skiing so unique, because it is so family oriented and it's social too.
Yeah.
That's what makes pickleball so popular.
Yeah.
It's a social sport.
Yeah.
And we had talked earlier about Valerina, who was an intern with us, who was a student of yours as well.
She's great kid.
And continues to water ski. So, tell us about that legacy, where you're passing it on to other students now, and
So it's fun for me. I train a lot of kids, and I'm pushing them to their limits, but they need constant push. And me, I love it to see their smiles. And they've been working so hard, and they finally reach their goal or break the record they're going for. It's almost like I'm out there again. So I love it. And not just with my 3 kids, but everyone that comes to my place, or I go somewhere and help them go. It's just that's what keeps me going. I love it.
That's the giving back.
Well, if people want to learn to ski, be a trick skier, a slalom skier, or a jumper, how do they get a hold of you so they can do that?
The best way is to go to the USA Waterski website. It's usawaterski.org. That has all the disciplines, whether you want to be a kneeboarder, barefooter, show skier, speed racer, whatever. It's hydrofoil. It's all in that website.
Okay.
And then you can choose your disciplines, and then from there, it'll push you to where you want to be a wakeboarder, kneeboarder, water skier, show skier. And that tells you everything.
But you have a school, though, right? I mean,
it's kind of like a training camp. So I get shipped off to different places and do like high level stuff. Some of the beginner stuff, there's a ski school right by in Polk City called near Action Sports, Fluid Water Ski. They do everything from beginner to advanced. So that would be the closest one around here to go to.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. And so, just a little bit more than a minute left. Auburndale.
Yeah.
So you grew up, you're a local guy, and you wind up coming back. So you could have lived anywhere in the world. You choose to stay here.
Yeah, I grew up in Lakeland. I skied at Hollingsworth before school every day. Graduated, went to UCF, and then came back. My parents moved to Auburndale. I moved to Auburndale, and I've been there ever since. Both my kids were born in Lakeland. Marion, she's from south of France, which is beautiful, but decided to stay here in Polk County. So I don't know why she did that. But
No, is she still competing?
No, not anymore. She retired. After our second kid, she came back a little too quick, blew her knee out, and decided, I've done everything that I want to do. There's no use.
Yeah.
So she still does it for exercise and fun, but competing, I try and get her on the senior tour, but she don't want to.
Don't want to do it.
She's all done. Yeah.
Well, you can live vicarious, like you said, through your kids or even your students. So I think that's remarkable.
We love.
So once again, everybody, the Florida State Championships. You can check out all some of the best skiers in the world. out at Lake Myrtle Sports Park at Champions Lake, right next to Margaritaville. So if you can find Margaritaville, you're driving in, you look to your right, there's a long lake there with all sorts of buoys and a ski jump on it, and there will be a lot of action. Starts on Friday the 12th, competition continuing the Saturday, the 13th and 14th, actually the best days of competition. If you want to inspire your kids, what you can do is bring them out on Friday, and you'll see kids from all ages out there practicing, including Scott's son. So check it out, everybody. Scott, thank you so much for joining us. It's always an honor and a pleasure. And our good friend Hank Longo we will be broadcasting this, by the way. So if you'd like to check that out too, you can go to usawaterskiandwakesports.org. If you enjoyed this interview and want to watch more Sports Central, click the video below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.